I'm looking at here. I brought my bike on the trip, on the bike rack on the back of the car, and it was totally worth it. And I figured this is as good a place as any to make a quick video. I came up this little road here, which follows the power lines, and you can see it continues way down there. I don't think I'll go that far. Maybe I'll just take a little walk down here. You know, I noticed this rock, and I wanted to talk about it first before I forget. You know, I'm not sure if this is naturally occurring glaciation-wise, if that's why it's so flat. I don't know. It's a beautiful rock, though, and there's some scat. You know, it reminds me of a video I did about 2 years ago, and I uploaded a video of a pile of shit next to my house, dog shit out front with a bunch of flies on it. And I filmed it, and I made a video and talked about the beauty of it. And I remember this one girl thought I was crazy. She's like, "You're disgusting." I'm like, "Man, you just don't get it." So anyway, we've got this trail over here. Sorry, not a trail, but we've got this box over here I'm very curious about. I figured I'd take you on a journey with me to explore. Assuming I don't run into any ticks or anything out here, hopefully. Ooh, it looks like there's a bunch of old crap knocked down over here. I'm wearing my sandals, so I'll be a little careful. Ooh, looks like we've got a whole lot of wild berries over here. Whatever's in that container is probably destined to remain there forever. It is kind of an interesting place, though, to have a shipping container. I mean, there's nothing out here. Weird. Guess it only opens on the other end. I love exploring. You know, it reminds me of, I don't know, that's kind of why I started this video. I was like, you know, I just want to share how awesome it is to cruise around and look at stuff. It brings back memories. Just stepping on that piece of wood there brings back memories of this field next to my house. I used to explore with this friend of mine, and one time we were running and he stepped on a board with a nail, went all the way through his foot. Had to call the fire department, get it pulled off. And so when I was over there and I was thinking about that shipping container, it reminded me of when I was about 12 years old, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older. And I used to go down to my aunt's house up in Estacada, Oregon. And there was this house down the street from hers that was an abandoned house, but you could open the door part way and you could see inside, and there was still a bunch of stuff in there. And they said nobody had been there for like 20 years. And being in a small town like Estacada, even though the only thing holding it was a door lock that was like one of those, the good neighbor locks or some shit, you know, the little chains that I just popped the door open and went in there. And I found this stamp collection, and it was like, it looked like the last person that had been there was obviously in the 70s, probably the late 70s. And this was in about the mid 80s when I found this, late 80s. So it'd been about 10, 15 years at that time. And being, you know, 12, having stuff from when I was a baby, or before I was born, you know, the drawers were full. Here's the thing, I walked into the house and there was it looked like somebody had half packed a long time ago. Turned out the guy had mental issues, you know, and he lived there alone, and when he died, nobody did anything with the place. So, craziest thing, I started finding all these drawers full of like old pins and like just stuff that, you know, you could tell was from the 70s. Opened the refrigerator and it was still full of food for 15 years. That smell. And not to mention, I walked in the door and there was a dead dog laying there. And the saddest thing, you know, he must have been left in there when his owner died. And god damn, just ended up tearing stuff apart, probably trying to find food because there was stuff all over the place. But you know, that picture in my mind is just something I figured I'd share because I just remembered it. And it's been 20 years or so. things are really cool. I have a certain, I don't know, I have this, I want to say a passion for nature. It just sounds so silly because it's something that everybody should have, but a lot of people don't. And when I come out here and I see the different colors and the patterns, and I don't have to ask myself whether there's, you know, when you're in nature, you don't ask yourself whether or not there's a God or what it matters in politics or what you should be doing at work or any of the big questions maybe that we think about, or the small questions. It just becomes a matter of you and nature. And looking over here at these things have never ceased to fascinate me. They're just beautiful. And the idea that each one of those is like an umbrella, perfectly shaped for its flight. I was about to say perfectly designed, but you got to be careful with that one. I can't assume it was designed, but it is designed by nature. Designed by the law of awesomeness, I guess. Anyway, I guess I'm going to ride on back home, or back to my house that I'm staying at, and have a wonderful